If you like intensely emotive water imagery, Crestfall might be just what you need. My Linktree, linktr.ee/cattheminion gives you easy access to Etsy, DeviantArt, and Cafe Press. My original drawing is for sale in my Etsy shop. Find it faster in the flat drawings section. It features vibrant rainbow Sharpie with a black background. Use coupon code 3STAR17 to get 17% off your purchase of 3 or more items. Additional promo codes are available to visitors of my Patreon. You can get prints of Crestfall with the Bluefield edit in my DeviantArt shop. Just click it, and when you get to the individual page, click the Buy From button. Once you're in the print page, you can select from the menu various fine art prints with optional framing or small art gifts like mugs, postcards, and magnets. You can get Crestfallen mini products for wearing and decorating in my Cafe Press shop. These also feature the Bluefield edit. Shop items like phone cases, blankets, shirts, drinkware, stickers, magnets, keychains, and more. Thanks for catching the wave. The video you're here to watch starts now. Welcome to Cat the Minion Patreon. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. Alright, so we are doing the pick-a-pile for August. And I have 4 piles, because 3 didn't feel like the right number. I feel like most pick-a-pile channels are doing 3, and you know, just not with that. I felt like 2 wasn't enough. There was one time, a long time ago, where I did 7. You have to excuse me, I'm a little bit manic right now. I'm a little bit over the, you know, energy peak. But this is something I really feel strongly about doing right now while it's slightly quieter in the general area. So I have cleared and shuffled these already, but I will shuffle them more on camera. So the first pile we have, if you want to pick by, focus. If you want to pick by the pile marker, we have George here with the engine from Yellow Submarine. And we have the Wild Unknown Archetypes, roundy round, and the Kaleidos Club Nebula card deck. I did already forget to mention that the reading I'm doing this month is the, watch my brain freeze, Triptych Door. Just because I am getting to the point where I need to start working on September stuff, and I don't really have the time to do the Roadblock Moguls reading that I want to. So we're just doing the Triptych Door to start with, and so the second choice we have an option of little teeny peach colored crystals in a baby jar. Teeny little super guy. So I have for this pile the Syrian Starseed Tarot and the Starseed Oracle. I feel like that's a good combo. I don't think I've used them together yet, that I'm aware of. So the third pile, word for word, a whole ass pumpkin with the Thoth deck and my little Twin Flame Pinnacle deck. If you're not Twin Flame, don't worry about it. It just means that one set is labeled feminine and the other is masculine, which may or may not be relevant in the reading, depending on what subject we get, because we don't know yet. Now, these aren't set out to be love readings, but if that happens, then it happens. We won't know till we're in there. But specific love readings for each month are in the next tier. They're in uncertainty tier. This could be about anything. Alright, so this other pile here, the fourth pile, we have the little green Buddha. Features in some of my baccalaureate works, which on Etsy. I think there's only one of them there right now, but that's the guy. And the one in the etching on Etsy, he looks like this. It's like at a weird angle. So I've got the Blessed Bee deck by Lucy Cavendish and the Uno deck. This one's antique, circa 1987. Alright. So choose your fighter here. Alright, let me get this. Maybe I'll leave this over here because I gotta. I still have to shuffle those. So you can choose Lego George with the. I don't need this over here. This is garbage. And then with the Wild Unknown Archetypes and Club Nebula. The Starseed double decker there with the Peach Crystal Jar. The Whole Ass Pumpkin with Pinnacle deck and Thoth deck. Or Little Green Buddha with Blessed Bee and Uno. Every time I say Little Green Buddha, it makes me think of Little Green Bag by the George Baker Selection. Alright, so we come over here because I still have to shuffle these on the camera. Hopefully some of these won't be popping. Be flipping. Is that magnet's dirty? I had to angle him slightly backwards because his little engine is too heavy for him. And he usually stands up straight because he's stuck to the base. But I took him off the base because I wanted George by himself. So, oops. Okay, I only need one of those, but I'm going to move this one to the bottom. Because I might, if I'm feeling frisky, we might look at the bottom of the deck. Box over here. And then I want two of the smaller cards, because this is how the triptych deck works. Okay, there's one. Okay, so you already see what one of the cards is. If that one's calling to you, that might be your pile. I'm going to try to keep those in the position they came out in. Or hay over here. Oh, that right. This one doesn't have a band because it's loose. So we might want the bottom of the deck for that. This one, I trimmed the couple millimeters of white border off this deck, and it's still a little bit too big for me to handle. I need to be like 7 feet tall for this to work, ideally. This way. Alright, see if we get one of these. Oh! Rude. Alright, we're gonna leave that one sideways. Oh, come on, George, work with me here. Alright. Does this one have the... Yes, this one does have the blue one. Alright, so we might get the bottom of that deck. Get one of these guys. You know what? I was going to take 2 cards, and these 2 were kind of sticking out on the bottom, so I'm just not going to go any further. Okay. Oh, man, that little green bag song is stuck in my head. Alright, the Thoth deck, which is... I've also trimmed... And it's still smelly because when I got it from eBay, it was coated in some kind of incense. It used to make me gag, but it's not too bad now. It just smells like kind of a strong sort of curry spiced fabric softener. That's what it kind of smells like. Only one. There can be only one. This guy. Goes on the bottom. This one. Nope, wrong pile. This one. And two of these. And that didn't fall all the way out. A little shuffly. It's weird as these ones are short and I usually do them the vertical way instead of doing them that way. I don't know why. That one almost came out too. There's something about this one where the it's like the current situation is less apparent than the outcome. So if that's happening for you, it's my... Ooh, I'm getting Cinderella vibes too because the pumpkin is all glittery. You know, it's like... It's like, what's keeping... Damn it, this is double. What's keeping you is... like bottled up, like constipated a little bit. Okay. Sometimes I take doubles. Mood strikes me. Alright, so we need one of these. Try to get them. See if I get some reversals that I need. I'm gonna put that one back in there for now. Ready for, God damn it, that one just does not want to stay there. Try these. Okay. So these checked out as a pair. I'm going to take them. It's unusual for the center to be double. Unusual times call for unusual allowances. Alright, let's get this one deck. Oh, I just bent the card up. I don't like that. Okay. These are sort of... They're old enough that they're sort of papery at this point, but I really don't want to get rid of this deck. It's like... from the summer of like 10,000 point games of Uno between me and my brother. I used to pull 2 cards to get to figure out what suit the knights were, but when I did the deck review, I labeled them. Alright, so there's one. Okay, I'm on that side. Literally one. Alright, I'm not taking a pile of 4, but I'll take this one. No, alright, I'll put it back. Someone's got a lot on their mind. Okay, there we go. I have to split this deck. What's the point of splitting it if I'm keeping the same card on the bottom? This is bullshit. Oh, it's over here. Okay. Alright. So that's what's going down with these piles. I need a sip of water. And I'm going to do a... yeah, I'm going to start another segment. Okay. So now I'm going to move the camera. So you can watch all the piles. You can just watch one pile. Should I timestamp this? Is that gonna... Oh, I know. I can make a comment underneath and copy and paste the URLs for the timestamps individually, but I'm not going to put the timestamps in commentary on the YouTube itself, because for these Patreon videos, I'm trying to have as little as possible on the YouTube itself, because it's supposed to be all secret-like. So I'm doing George first. Now, do I have anything? I don't really have anything metal, do I? Is this metal? Not really. I don't think that magnet really works. Maybe it's just a little piece of foil. It doesn't appear to be a real magnet. Either that, I don't have like real metal stuff. But yeah, he has the engine. Or the motor. Maybe it's the motor. But anyway. Let me move this more. It's just gonna be the like neck craning portion. George. Alright. Let's read the side. Oh man, it's already giving me a headache looking at that through the camera. Alright, so let's turn this over. The animal. Good, baby. Very good. Mm. 19 inverted. I mean, it does make me think of the Muppet animal. Oh, we're supposed to do the sides first. God damn it. Alright. I forgot. I got distracted. 10 of Pentacles inverted. 7 of Pentacles inverted. This one always looks like one of those like Star Wars fucking things. Or a satellite. My wall of pins is going haywire again. So 17 inverted pentacles. I don't know why I'm thinking of the star card, because that's air energy. But usually when earth cards are inverted, it tells me something's ungrounded. I've got my feet are up in the air. Like the situation is up in the air. But the animal inverted, it's like it's also giving me ungrounded. I'm not connected to the earth. It's like, it's sort of like head in the clouds. I just clairaudient heard, is it floating through the sea of holes? But it's like I'm not in tune with the earth. I'm not in tune with the fact that I'm like a meat being. Which is where this disconnect, why these pentacles are all inverted. In order to be involved with meat space, you have to understand that things are material. This also could be like unhealthy. Like, I'm broke, I don't have enough resources, I'm not... Like, I'm malnourished, I'm sick, everything sucks, like nothing's happening. And this could be like nothing's growing, this soil is garbage, I've got acid rain, you know, there's no food in the grocery store. But it also comes in as impatience. Like I'm impatient for things to go. Right, my motor's broken, nothing's going. I'm, like, my entire life is in the shop for repairs. But with the animal inverted, it's like I'm not in tune with the natural flow of things on the earth. You know, like, I'm out of touch with manifestation, but I'm also upset that nothing's happening. But it's like if you don't have your ear to the ground, if you're not connected to the pulse of the earth, what's going to happen? But we do see the number 17 here and then 19 here. It's sort of like a fear and sort of hopelessness. a feral animal. I'm backed into a corner. I'm chomping and biting, and if you touch me, I'll snap your fingers off. It's like, I don't know what to do. So let me see what the bottom of the deck. So we have Ace of Cups inverted, looking like a butt. The Ace of Cups inverted does give me Ace of Swords energy. That's like I'm ruling with my mind and not with my heart, which is also part of that disconnect. Let's see what this other one is here. Too fat to fit in the view. The Pilgrim inverted. What number is this? Number 20. Oh, that tells me just judgment. But it's about a journey. It's not like, oh, I know where I'm going. It's like I'm going on a pilgrimage. I'm going on a sacred adventure. It's like I'm not out to get something. I'm out to seek a vision. I'm exploring new territory. I've never been here before. So instead of trusting my senses, I've been overanalyzing how to achieve goals and solve problems instead of being in this intuitive place and trusting spiritual advice, like from guides, animal spirits, ancestors, the earth itself. So this is entirely about grounding and sort of, it's like you thought you were going to be done, because I see the 10 and the 20. It's like I thought I was getting to the finish line, but everything feels like it's sliding backwards. And some of this is the retrograde energy. And again, I think it's safe to say with the uncertainty tier love reading that I was also getting the sort of indication of stuff happening between the equinox in September, autumnal if you're north hemisphere, spring if you're southern hemisphere, and then between then and the solstice in December, this sort of shifting of these energies. And that might be sort of, retrograde season kind of peters out towards the close of the year anyway, with those outer planets. So this is what's going on here. It's like the spiritual equivalent of living off the land and going on an adventure, right? Because a pilgrimage isn't necessarily like, oh, I'm going to see, like I'm going to a certain destination and like I'm gonna go pray there. It's like a pilgrimage is like it's like I'm going on a trip. I'm gonna go see the biggest ball of twine, and I'm gonna go see the biggest like roller coaster and the biggest like lake, and I'm gonna go see all these 20 shrines. I'm gonna go see, the saint's bones. I'm gonna go to see the big black square in the middle of Mecca, those kinds of things. It's those are things that people understand as pilgrimage. You also think of the pilgrims coming to America, and people are like, oh, they wanted religious freedom, and it's like, no, they were kind of nutters who got kicked out of Europe and then were like super like fanatical in the place they were at. But there's still this idea, this is actually really relevant, because what they did, they were like friggin' starving to death, and the people that were already here, the Native Americans were like, y'all want some food and stuff? Like, let's teach you how to grow corn. And then they were like, oh, thanks, we're just going to kill you and take all your land. But the thing is, they didn't have this connection to the land. They didn't know how to manifest in it. So maybe that is a good example. So, if you picked George with his motor, you might be going on a little trippy adventure. But the outcome here is to get grounded and to sort of focus on patience and being more in the now, especially during retrograde season. Alright, so I'm gonna move this over and we're gonna start with the starseed peach stone situation thing. Oh, this is already making me nauseous. It's gonna be like hard. Oh, I just hit the camera, that's not great. I don't want to make it dirty. Just gonna move this over a little bit so I can function. Oh, okay, this has a sideways door. One time, from a gift shop, my dad got my mom this miniature puzzle that was in a bottle. It wasn't this small, but it was, smaller than this bottle of school glue, which is a 4 fluid ounce, if you want to compare sizes. Alright. Seeker of Chalices. So this is the Page of Cups, which is interesting because we started off with a vessel. It's in the challenge position. Normally for me this is an 11, but it could also be a 1. Oh, I did this backwards again too. The doors are supposed to come first before the other one. Dang it. Your life is a canvas. Artist, manifestation, creative, accountability. Coming inverted, which is usually for me confusion or delay. The blue flame. Spontaneous awakening, activation, and integration time. This feels a lot like this sort of spindle-shaped person, which is what I've seen actually. When I was astral projecting to a location that someone else somewhere in a distant from me that I was talking to online also astral projected to the place, I saw them as a spindle of light. They look like one of those little Sims diamonds. And that's kind of what that looks like, but this one has arms. So the blue flame, kind of in this doorway, kind of looks to me like someone in a container. Like energy in a container. Now, it would be ideal if this was the center door. And I'm like, oh, the doorway's open. Kick ass. So we have this activation, and we have this sort of delay on manifesting something. It also says creative accountability. Like, are you making shit just to make shit, or are you actually like speaking with your voice? Because I see the blue here and it makes me think of air energy, swords. This to me is a little bit like wands energy, like a toaster oven. But what's happening between them is a Page of Cups. I'm sensing the awakening and it's pulling me out of the water. Like, full-on aerial jumping out of the water, gonna be part of that world situation. Each of these has a figure in it. Interesting. But I'm stuck halfway between this, like, electrified coming online and this, like, feeling like I'm not allowed to do the thing yet. Like, I'm struggling to be free in my creativity. Now, this is sort of a peach color, but overall it does give me sacral energy, which is the freedom to create, the feeling of being secure in what you're, like, building. Feeling like what you create and what you offer is acceptable, like nurturing the free flow of the energy. This is the sacral chakra is it's the battery pack for the solar chakra, which is where that, like, core identity comes from. But if the creative cauldron is, you know, if the burner gets shut off on that, if someone is like this soup is gross, there's nothing to fuel that identity, right? It's like the sun burns out, the person, like, loses their light because they're, like, what they bring to the world is shut off, blocked out, cold as ice, frozen. Right? It's sort of like if you're stirring the tar, you know, to coat the canoe or whatever, it's gonna harden if it's not in motion. If my creative flow is left to you know, not being allowed to move, it'll harden, and none of the energy is going to be fulfilling that solar chakra. It also says integration time here. Gotta have integrity. But integration, for me, like, having integrity means that my shadow and my light side are both things that I'm acknowledging and accepting as part of me. Right? The criticism, hopefully self-criticism, because, you know, somebody else says, oh, you suck, you're like, okay, have fun with that, bye. Not like, oh my god, I'm gonna die now because somebody didn't like me. Ideally. But, you know, if there's a wound there, if there's this lack of nurturing and, like, oh my god, if I don't make myself how other people want me and be perfect, then, like, I'm literally going to die. You know, what the hell was I even trying to say? The integration of the light and the dark. So the shadow, the negging of the self, versus this is who I am, this is what naturally comes out of me when I open up this creative flow from inside me. And essentially what is the creative flow, and where does it come from, and what is it doing, and how does it work, is kind of what I'm investigating with my Shatter conversations. It's set up kind of like an interview, but it's really a conversation. So, you know, if I'm criticizing myself and feeling like I need to light myself on fire because Like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing an interview and I talked over people or I talked too much. I'm like, oh my god, now I'm a piece of shit. Like, what am I gonna do? But what is the point of the conversation? Like, if I'm somehow following a train of thought and the other people are sort of on board, what is the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is whatever the conversation is. Like, what are we learning? Where are we ending up? What is the expression of what's going on here? And this is where this is. I mean, the creative accountability is, are you creating something of substance? It's like, yes, well then why are you kicking yourself in the face? Is it the, squeezing it into a box of what people expect, or is it opening it up into some other realm? And this is something that I've personally had to learn recently. So let's just check out the bottoms of the deck to see what we've got going on here. So this I feel like this is sideways, so we have the void. I just pull this so it can be looked at better. Stop, embrace winter, the great cosmic womb. So there's a decay and like things lying fallow. Like, maybe I'm not creating right now because I need to, like, review what I'm doing. But there's also this rebirth energy, and the womb itself is essentially the void here, is the cosmic bowl, it's the sacral chakra. Right? Like, what's in a black hole? Like, everything. Where the light bends. Oh, speaking of light bending, solar deity, the sun energy, right? The light and the dark, the integration. This is what we're talking about here, right? I mean, case closed. That's, and look at this little peach stuff. It's like the sun in a jar. It's exactly the same color. Carry moonbeams home in a jar. There you go. That's it. I think that's the song that was on the theme song for that show Small Wonder in the 80s with the little robot sister. Alright. The whole ass pumpkin. I just heard pumpkin eaters in the back of my head. So we got the Cinderella carriage here, kind of like maybe. Oh man, I put that away too, didn't I? Burn it! I do want to get it out. I'll be right back with that. This is one of the best toys ever that I bought like a year ago. Okay. I have a video for this in my Adventures with Plastic Crack, but this is pretty kick-ass. Alright, so we're doing Cinderella carriage here with the sparkly pumpkin. I mean, for realsies. Oh, I don't want to break her neck. There we go. Cinderella. I wish I had a stand for her. Anyway, I mean, the horses moving up and down is like top shelf kind of stuff. Either that or I'm very easily entertained. Dusty because I had them on display for a few months. Oh, this one's a gray dust right in the seam. I don't know, a little over here for now, and I'll put it back after. Alright. So, let's move this back down here. Alright, I'm actually gonna do the side doors first, like I'm supposed to, because I keep forgetting. Straight. Alright. So on one side, whether it's relevant or not, we have masculine energy. This is actually inverted, even though I've got this written upright. 9 of Swords inverted. Which, 9 of Swords inverted is sort of an artificial 9 of Cups. I've gotten rid of anxiety and nightmare, and I'm trying to work towards, like, feeling pretty chuffed. You know, things are looking up. My fairy godmother is here. Phyllis Diller is here. So this double on the other side, we have the 10 of Pentacles. Now this feminine energy is looking like it's inverted also, but for some reason I feel like this is actually supposed to be upright, because like who cares whether it's not directional. And this is a spare card, and I've written in this position ludicrous speed. Spaceball's going plaid, which is interesting because this pattern looks kind of plaid. So it's like my fairy godmother is helping me turn my life around, like, fast, instant, right? Magic. Poof, it's a carriage, that kind of a thing. Let's see what this is. Just gouged a hole. The Princess of Discs. Wow, okay. So the Page of Pentacles. 9, 10, 11. Rapid manifestation out of like a really stressful situation. I'm learning quickly to heal and to come out of the anxiety and sort of trust what I'm doing, and it's happening fast. Alright, let's look at the bottom of the deck. So we have the Queen of Wands with masculine energy looking inverted on it. So I'm just going to stick this here. And on the bottom of this deck, I have the Three of Swords, Sorrow. So wait, I think I said no love is sorrow on something else, and I don't know if it was one of these or the other thing. But I see this rosy situation coming through, and then I see this sort of toxic. Now, if I take this as inverted with the Queen of Wands and this... No, Queen of Swords is inverted, is off with her head. This is like... I'm gonna... Like, if they take my swing-line stapler, I'm gonna burn the whole building down. And this is like, this is the anxiety being turned around, but this is saying, like, where is this stress coming from? The root, right? 3 squared 9. The root of the stress is deep sadness related to getting burned by a feminine energy. Kind of looks like a love relationship. But well, I mean, if we're doing Cinderella, it's the evil stepsisters. Someone trying to block your manifestation, but they're coming in with wands and swords. It's nothing that's permanent and nothing that can really block you from your intuition and this sort of heart-centered knowing of the self. It's all illusory. And this idea that I'm the one who's in control of my own life is coming quickly. But there's also this idea of this sort of fairy godmother. It's not like someone's going to magically do it for you. It's that the universe is sort of meeting you where you're at, right? If the universe will meet your donation. When you change the way that you perceive something, the universe sort of snaps in like a cog in a machine, is like chink, like the dark side of the moon suddenly, like, spotlight. Film at 11. Let's get the helicopter down there. You know, it's like you just rolled doubles, go again. Instead of, you know, go directly to jail, do not pass go. It's like, why am I letting you mess with, like, who I am as a person and how I think about myself? You know, this is a temporary, it's sort of like temporary voodoo. It's like, it's not real. It's only as real as you think it is. You're stressing me out, but you can't keep me from, you know, you can try to psych me out, but you're not going to keep me from achieving my goals. Because you're not actually tying me up or, like, you're not hitting me across the knees with a steel bar. You're just messing with my head. You're trying to make me doubt who I am. You're gaslighting me. You're not lighting me on fire. You know, this is the strength to become who you're gonna be. And this strength to be who you are and overcome somebody messing with your head is more in line with Ever After with Drew Barrymore. And is it Melanie? I don't know her last name yet. I'm learning it, though. She's amazing. I love her. And Angelica Houston. And they, you know, so there's this, like, overcoming by, you know, standing up for yourself in the material world. More so than a traditional Cinderella story. Alright. So I need to, I guess I can leave these on here for now. For her. This little Cinderella is very detailed. She's got little knees that bend. It's so cool. So I'm just gonna sit her down. If her dress isn't in the way, I'm gonna sit her down on this pumpkin if I can. Kind of, maybe. Not really working. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna start another segment for the other one. Alright, so we have a little green Buddha pile. He used to be a pendant, but the thing came out of his head. I'm pretty sure this is actually jade. I don't know where I got that. I think somebody gave it to me. So we have the one of blues. The Ace of Swords. And the Five of Cups. This is, like, my heart is broken and I'm not realizing that you know, what I'm looking for is right behind me. I see devil energy too, like something's bound in the shadows. Could also just be Capricorn energy. Could be Saturn, Kronos. Like this is... It kind of looks like a relationship, but it doesn't have to be love. It's like, this is the true, like... The truth, the self-evident... Holding the truth to be self-evident. And this is, you know, I'm heartbroken and I'm not seeing that the pieces are right behind me to pick up. Okay. Sort of straightforward. That's what this double door is here. This is like a double wide door makes me think of those older houses that had the like double front doors so they could have the funerals in the parlor. Not really a funeral parlor, just general houses, because people used to have tons of family and, you know, have extra places for shit. Okay. So we have a blessing on the senses that gift the world to you, combined with an inverted 5, a blessing on your day. I don't remember who sings it, but I'm getting that, like, it's a good thing, baby. What is it? There's no one around to bring you down. Interesting. One of those like mod 60s kind of bands, British Invasion or something or other, or similar. Seems like this to me is a lot like the 5 of Pentacles, but it's inverted. I'm not feeling outcast anymore. Looking sort of the opposite way of this 5 of Cups, like woe is me energy. Seven and 5 is 12. Sort of a hanged man energy. Like I don't know which way to go. Blessing on the senses that gift the world to you. It's kind of like you have to get out of the same way that you've been thinking about things. You know, it's like I've only been, you know, smelling, but now I need to, like, pay attention to what I'm hearing. I've only been looking, now I need to pay attention to what I'm tasting. You know, I've only been thinking, I need to pay attention to what's coming out in my heart. I need to stop being, like, isolate and focus on my connection to the earth itself. That kind of thing. Let me see what's on the bottom of these decks. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit tired. It's like 3:30 in the morning. So you have -8. This kind of, it's looking to me like an obstacle course, like tires. 8 of Wands. Is that Mercury in Sagittarius? Yes. So the fast movement, rapid communication card inverted. It's like I ain't heard shit. But then we have a blessing for those who are nearing their final breath. 45. Why does that make me think of the devil? Well, 3 times 15 is 45. 8 times 5 is 45. Okay, so this is what we've got here. It's like I'm saying, oh, 8 times 5 is 45, 8 and 5 is 13. That's a transformative death energy. And the blessing for those who are nearing their final breath is like for somebody who's actively dying. But this is more like the part of me that's taking on this shadow aspect of, oh, like, poor me, like, everything sucks, what's going on, I'm, like, out here all by myself. I'm attached to nothing, like, I have to do everything myself. This is, like, slow down, wait a minute, you need to focus on, like, breathing, letting that attitude, that it's not really an attitude, it's like this mentality, like, take a deep breath and let it go. Because notice that 1 and 7 makes 17, that's hope. It's like the truth of the matter is that there's hope when you even begin to say, like, oh, I'm connected to the universe. I'm part of the consciousness. So it goes from sort of one Aquarian energy to the other. I mean, 7 could also be the Chariot. But if we're even if we're taking this and saying we're going to say 7 of Swords, it would be like illusions and deception. The deception is the isolation. This is, I'm going through a death cycle where I'm sort of separating out more from my shadow. Where I'm starting to come into, it's like I'm starting to come into my light more, but it's like the shadow for this situation isn't like aggressive anger. It's like wilted flower energy. Oh, that's 43. I read that wrong. That's 7 and 5. That's 12. That's the hangman energy. And this 8 and 5 is 13. That's the death energy. That's so weird. 43. That's weird. It doesn't change the rating, it just gives it an extra dimension. 4 and 3 is 7, and 7, the ultimate balance is in the movement. This sort of like a dramatic performance of a death cycle, but it's all internal. It's more of a mental process wherein one version of you is allowed to collapse in on itself and say, well, you know, maybe that was me, but it doesn't have to define me for the rest of my existence. The meditative state is, instead of being I am one, I am alone, it's like I am, it's like, hey buddy, I want a hot dog. It's like, well, it's like, hey pal, what do you want? It's like, make me one with everything. You know, alone versus one with everything. and that's the movement. And also, if you take the 7, that's that could be the chariot energy, which is balance of the light and the shadow. I think that gets across the point that the reading is making. And also because the battery's going to die in a minute. So that's what that reading is getting across. Bridging the, going through the death cycle from the I am singular. I am isolated, the cheese stands alone to make me one with everything. Okay? Snack time. Yeah, so that's it. Don't forget to do all the subscribey, sharey, supporty kind of things. I mean, if you're in the Patreon, you're already doing that, so thank you. And stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye. Cat the Minion energy work is focused on building a community around creativity and connectivity. Connect to new friends, the universe, and yourself. Shift your perspective of everyday life. Alleviate the stresses of daily life by tapping into self-expression. Help me build my offerings around your needs by investing, interacting, and brainstorming new things we can do. Your financial contributions via donations, purchases of goods and services, and participation on Patreon allow me to pay mundane bills, upgrade to better interactive services and equipment, and to buy art supplies and materials. Additionally, your support helps me pay it forward to charities, other energy workers, and artists, and to gain more visibility so our community can reach even more who need it. You can find a number of the goods and services I offer by clicking the links from my website, cattheminion.wordpress.com, or from my link tree, depending on your preference, linktr.ee/cattheminion. I'm offering original art pieces, digital downloads, art prints, merch, tarot readings, divination tools, templates, coloring books, a dark poetry book, YouTube content, self-care encouragement, and more.